Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing well today. Hope you guys are having a wonderful, blessed, and fantastic day. Today is Sunday, October 12th, 2025. Just about 12:51 p.m. Just wanted to get the vlog started here, get it up and going, and I'll see what I can get you guys for content today. Thanks for tuning in. God bless. Just wanted to show you guys the front of the house here. Got it decorated for Halloween. Got the Halloween solar lights. Halloween sign. And then a table here. This guy hanging up. A little decoration. Spooky. And then spider on the window here. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you and show you the front of the house here with the Halloween decorations. Hope you enjoy it. Hey everybody, before I change, just wanted to show you my outfit here, Media 360. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Hey everybody, just want to show you my lunch here. Having a prime drink, chicken, rice, and broccoli, a couple corn dogs. Buddy came over here to United to grab a few things. Shout out to Bob. Pass me the Bob's Gourmet Spices. Up for a challenge. I can't believe it's not butter. It's not complicated, it's simply potatoes. Hey everybody, just sitting here with my friend Keith. He and I were talking the other day about his time working at the furniture factory up in Iowa, and I was just so fascinated with some of the stories that he was sharing with me. Keith, tell me the name of the company. When did you start working there? And kind of take me along with the journey and some of the highlights. I'm really interested to hear it, and I figured my viewers would be really interested to hear about your time working for the furniture factory. The name of the company, whatever you can think of, would be great.
Well, the name of the company was called Stylecraft Furniture. It was just a local owned furniture company by a guy named Bob Reed. It was over in Milford, Iowa. I started there December 15th, 1976. And the only reason I remember that is it's the same day as my niece's birthday. And I got laid off. My first job was at the produce house here in Sibley, where I grew up, and it closed its doors in November. So I got laid off from there, and I was off from the first part of November. It was actually election day. They shut down the doors, so I was off about a month and a half, and I applied to the furniture factory in Milford, and my ex sister-in-law, my older brother's ex-wife, was working there at the time, and she's the one that said, "Hey, they're looking for help." So I went over and applied, and the next week I was hired. Uh, and just a little fun fact: when I started there in 1976, I was the 75th person. There were 75 of us total working in that factory, and when I left there 21 years later, there was over 1,600 people working there. So it really grew over the years. But yeah, I started out. Uh, it was called framing. I was building sofa frames. I worked there in that department about 6 months, and the job in the loading department came open, and I went from $1.75 an hour to $5.75. So I said, "Yep, I want to go take that job." So, but $1.75 an hour sounds kind of weird, but we was set up in the framing department on piecework. You had to build so many frames a day, and then if you did over that, you got a bonus pay. So the hourly pay was only $1.75, but if you busted your butt and worked hard, you could bring your pay up. But I just wanted to go to loading. That was guaranteed money. So yeah, I started loading furniture in middle of the year 1977, and I did that for 20 some years. Uh, well, not quite that, because I transferred into the maintenance department about a year before it closed down, uh, or before I left there anyway. And I was a sewing machine mechanic, and I just really didn't care for that much at all. So I should have just stayed in the loading department. But I was uh, foreman of the loading crew when I left. But yeah, it was hard work, but it was really fun working there. Yeah, I just enjoyed most all the people that I worked with, and
And it brings me to a question that popped into my head. Do you remember a piece of furniture that was super heavy, like the heaviest one you lifted? You just thought, wow, this is miserable to lift. Do you remember it?
oh yeah, when I first started there, it was, most of you guys probably know what a hide-a-bed is, where you fold off the bed. They were heavy, but then later on in the years, everything started going to the built-in recliners on the, and they were double whatever a hide-a-bed was weight-wise. Uh, but I was telling Tristan the other night, back in my prime, and I'm not bragging. This is just fact that when I grew up, I was still a big person. Don't get me wrong. I was overweight, but I was strong. Loading all that furniture. I had a truck driver come in one time, and
And this is where the fascination all started. We just started talking about, his work at the furniture factory, and he told me this story. This is a good one. You got to stay tuned.
I had a truck driver come in one time, and he was talking to me, and he goes, "You think you could lift a hide bed up above your head?" And I said, "Yeah, I know I can." He goes, "I don't believe you." I said, "Put your money where your mouth's at." I said, "I'll bet you $100 right now I can take that hide bed right there and lift it up over my head." And I reached in and got my wallet out, and I threw $100 bill on the ground. And I said, "I'll put your money where your mouth's at." So he threw $100 down, and it probably wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I did it. I'd done it before. I stood that sofa up on end, hide a bed, and I bent down and I just up above my head with it. And that truck driver just looked at me like, "I can't believe you really did that." And I grabbed that $200 and I said, "Thanks." And yeah, he just looked at me like, "Wow, you really did that." But I, I was in good shape. I mean, I was still overweight, don't get me wrong, but I could throw that furniture around so much. I'd been doing it for years and years, so I just knew where all the center of gravity was,
And another
and
highlight he was telling me about, around Thanksgiving and Christmas time, they would put on great
yeah,
food.
yeah. Back in the day when Bob Reed, the original owner, before it sold out to Hans Klausner, which I don't know if you guys ever heard of Klausner Furniture, but he was from Germany and he bought out Bob Reed. But when it was just a locally owned furniture factory, Bob Reed and his wife Jeannie were such nice people. They were the best bosses I've ever had in my life. At Thanksgiving, he would put on a breakfast for everybody in the plant. In the high time when he owned it, there was probably 800 or 900 people, and he would put on a breakfast feed, and it was called Chris's Cakes. Would come in, and he had a big long griddle with funnels that were automatic. He just had to squeeze a handle, and he could do 5 pancakes at a time in rows, as long as that griddle was. And then we had sausage and bacon and all the pancakes, anything, all you could eat. But he would hand you a paper plate, go out there 15 feet or so, and he would just start flinging them pancakes at you, and you're trying to catch them, and they didn't care if they hit the floor. They made so many pancakes that, but it was just people were laughing, and it was just a good time. And yeah, Bob Reed would just come out. He would join us. You know, he didn't think that just because he was the owner of the factory that he was better than anybody. He would sit down right next to you and ask you how you're doing on your job, if you like it. He actually cared. He cared, I think, more about his employees than he did the bottom line at the end of the day. Well, he knew he was going to make money, but he took care of his employees, and you just don't see that nowadays. Like I say, he was probably the best boss I've ever had in my life. And we had so much fun. The workers, we all got along, and your coworker cared about you, and you cared about your coworker. And maybe that's some of where I got where I am today, is we actually cared about people. And but yeah, it's I really miss it at times. But
And they did put on a Christmas party every year.
Christmas was the same thing, except that he put on a Christmas dinner. We had turkey and ham, and it
All
was
that stuff.
all catered in, and we would all get a Christmas bonus, and it was based on years of service. And well, I had a lot of years of service. I remember when it was based on how much profit the plant did. I remember it was probably in the mid 80s. I took home a $1,500 bonus check. And in the 80s, that was unheard of.
Yeah.
And
Imagine what that would be today. I
Oh,
mean, wow.
yeah. And he, like I say, he just cared about his employees, and everybody. I mean, of course, there was people in there that you never got along with. Anytime when you're starting to get big groups of people, there's people that you don't agree with, but I can honestly say I don't remember anybody ever getting in arguments and fighting, and it just didn't happen. And but it was hot, and I loaded trailers, and I was telling Tristan, in the summertime in Iowa, when it's 95 degrees and 90% humidity, you know it.
And he said the top of the trailers would just reflect that heat.
Oh, yeah. Well, they were fiberglass top trailers, and that sun would hit them trailers, and it was just like an oven.
And he told me, he would get to work in the morning, about 15, 20, 30 minutes later, he's just
I was wringing wet. I would literally go home at night after my shirt would dry. It was just salt. All you could see was salt.
And he said he went through 2 5-gallon buckets or containers, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, them orange thermos container things. The loading crew, we just made Gatorade every day. We mixed our own Gatorade, and there was 3, 6. There was 8 of us. There was 2 crews of 4. There was 8 of us, and we would go through 10 gallons of Gatorade a day.
But when it's 100+ degrees in
you had
those trailers,
to drink, you had to drink fluids, otherwise you would end up collapsing on the ground.
And on the flip side, the winters in Iowa kind of get into that. How cold was it loading that furniture?
Oh, it was
dead of winter.
The winter time was just opposite. We had to. I don't know if you guys know what a NIPCO or a kerosene heater is. The kind that you turn the blower on, and we would have to stick them in the trailers a half hour before you started loading the trailer, just to get it warmed up enough to
be in there.
Yeah, and
what do you remember about maybe the coldest day you loaded furniture, or maybe a big storm or blizzard?
Oh, there was a lot of blizzards. We had it, when you back the trailer up, there was always gaps where the trailer would back up. We would have to take furniture, blankets, and everything else stuff in them cracks because the wind would just come whipping through there. Snowbanks would start building up. But back at the time, we didn't think much of it. But there was cold mornings when it was 30 below and 50-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, it was
Just
cold.
miserable, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just opposite of the summer. The summertime would be the same thing. We wouldn't plug the holes to keep the snow out. You were trying to keep the hot wind from blowing up in there. But I was telling Tristan when I was younger like that, the heat, I didn't even pay any attention to it. It would be 90 degrees. Inside the trailer, it was probably 130, 140. And you just worked. And I was telling him now it gets 90 degrees and I'm going, man, I just can't deal with this heat.
It caught up to you finally?
Yeah, evidently. But I really enjoyed the furniture factory. I cannot say anything bad until it got bought out by the major corporation. And the minute that happened, you could just tell they were more concerned about the bottom line than they did their employees. And I understand they're in business to make money, but at what expense do you do that? And that's when I decided to part ways. We were making money for Hans Klausner, and we never got. He took away some of the vacation. He took away any bonuses. We never got bonuses, and a lot of people left because we just felt unappreciated. Well, then they started sending most of the work over to China and Mexico. So eventually people just started either getting laid off or leaving because the sewing was all done in Mexico and China. Then they would ship it over here because they could get it done over there for pennies on the dollar. And yeah, it just ruined the industry.
But yeah, we just thought this would be a fun thing on the channel to talk about some of Keith's past. This is 70s, 80s, you know.
But by far, it was probably the best job I'd ever had in my life. I just really loved
coworkers, boss. It was all great. Bonuses.
And I even enjoyed driving Ready Mix until it was bought out by the company out of Mexico. When it was locally owned, it was fun. It was easy. Not so much easy. There were big days, but it was interesting work. I got to drive truck, something I'd always wanted to do.
But yeah, Keith has done so much in his life. He's got a lot of work experience, and he's done a lot of different jobs.
Yeah,
from firefighting to furniture factory to Ready Mix to
making microwave popcorn bags
to even worked at a Denny's. Did you?
Denny's out in California.
So yeah, he's done so much. He's a jack of all trades, and he's just got a lot of wisdom and knowledge to share. And I thought we'd share some of that with you guys. Please subscribe to his channel, The Adventures of the Oklahoma Grunt Man. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Just thought it was kind of fun to video. And yeah, that's just a little bit about Keith. Everybody, just want to get my video edited and uploaded here. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and supporting my channel. Please like, share with your friends and family. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I'm almost to 3,000 subscribers. Can't believe it. So God bless you guys. I love you guys. Peace be with you.